So this is my second attempt at this video. Because you see, I went on holiday for 2 weeks, and then as soon as I got back, I got COVID. And so I tried to record this video last week, and I had to give up because I went into a coughing fit. That was fun. Okay. But I've got my water. And we're going to have to just be quick because, time's ticking before my throat and lungs give out. Oh, COVID is fun. Hey nerds, welcome to the book haul. I'm back finally, and we're going to do the mid-year Freakout tag. We're currently in early July, so if I get this edited today, that's not too bad. It is also currently maybe the hottest day of the year so far. We're in the mid-20s, going up to the high 20s for lunchtime. So I also want to wrap this up so I could turn the light off and open some windows. So the best book I've read so far this year has to be The Housekeeper and the Professor. It is a book I wanted to take my time with so that it could be in my life a little bit longer. Because even though there's this sort of tragic element to it, it really made me smile because the characters that are in this book are just so selfless and lovely, and that is just something we always need in our lives, even if we have to get it from fiction. New release you haven't read yet but want to. It's just arrived today. I'm very excited. That is All the Lovers in the Night by Mieko Kawakami. I loved Breast and Eggs. It was top of my list, like one of my favourite books of last year. She did release another book last year called Heaven, but that was like way too brutal for me. That was way too harsh. So I'm hoping this one is more like Breast and Eggs, but I'm really excited to get to read it. Most anticipated release for the second half of the year. I think I'm going to get volume 2 of Lady Joker. I think information on it is sparse, which is really annoying because I picked up this gorgeous looking book. It was a really interesting book, but it's only the first half of the story. And there's I think the last time I looked, it said it thought August. But last time I checked, I couldn't find any release information other than the paperback version of Volume 1. So I'm hoping I get it this year. I'm hoping. Other than that, there is the last Mistborn book. Now, at the moment, I'm just finishing off Era 1. I don't know if I managed to get through Era 2. Although those books are shorter than Era 1, so I think there's a good chance I can. So that's something to look forward to. Biggest disappointment, this has to go to Kings of the Wild. I've done a whole video on it. I thought it was going to be a lot funnier than it ended up being. I thought I was going to be having a really fun time, and I just got kind of bored. Sorry. Biggest surprise. I think this has to go to The Appeal. This was a book that was lent to me. It's not my genre at all, really. Well, I say at all. I do like mystery every now and then. So this was sort of like a bit of a murder mystery, but told through emails and text messages. So it's kind of framed that you've got these two lawyers or apprentices who are trying to figure out why the person who's in prison is actually the wrong person. And then it centers around this sort of amateur dramatics group. It's very English. These are people you've met in real life if you're British. They're like the Amdram group. And the reason why it's a big surprise is because I could not stop reading it. It was so easy to read that I read the whole thing in 24 hours. I sat down in this chair and I just did not stop all day. So I think that's why it deserves to be here. Favorite new author? Debut or new to you? Oh, I really wanted to say June, but that would be last year. Damn it. So I might give this one to two people. I'm going to say Jay Kristoff. So my early knowledge was that he wrote Nevernight, I think that's the one, which I heard was kind of like fantasy but edgy, and I'd heard things that turned me off it, but since then I've come across other people who've read it and loved it. But that's not the book I read. The book I read was Empire of the Vampire, which was a huge release at the end of last year. And I started it over Christmas and read it into January. And yeah, that was really good fun. And it was really cool. And it was him trying to make vampires dark again. So yeah, I actually would be interested in trying more of his stuff, and we'll see if he remains a favorite author. And then the other one, I'm going to give it to Natsuo Kirino, who wrote Out. So again, another thriller, but not really a whodunit. It was a really dark story, really good character studies of these sort of middle-aged women, or like ish, one of them's younger, which you don't get all of the time. And it also has that lens of being in Japan and the Japanese culture. That was great, and I actually would like to know if she's written anything else. So yeah, I'll leave it with those two. Newest fictional crush. This is gonna make me sound really vanilla, but at the same time, I don't read many romance. I'm gonna go for Ellen Venture from Mistborn, because he's just a sweet little rich boy who is trying his best. I remember when we met him at book one, I was really hoping he wasn't gonna end up being a villain, because the dynamic between him and Vin was really funny. The way that he'd just like ignore everyone and read books, very relatable. And he's just grown into a really cool character. So he's my new crush. Newest favorite character? Oh god. You know what? Even though it's in the disappointment category, I'm gonna bring Kings of the Wild back, and I'm gonna say the wizard. Is he called Moog? Oh, hopefully I'm right. The wizard from Kings of the Wild, because to be fair, he was the only character who did actually make me laugh. So whenever he was around and being funny or being actually sweet, then I kind of thought, yes, this is what I wanted from this book, but there just wasn't enough for me. So there's him. I guess Kelsey is an obvious one, because like in Mistborn 1, he is just designed to be the cool character that everyone just, no one could believe the things that he's capable of, and he's also got this really cool attitude. Oh no, wait. No, wait. I know someone who could beat them all. Favorite character is the Ratkin from Legends and Lattes, because when we talk about sweet characters, he is a cute little rat who also bakes cinnamon rolls and biscotti. That can't be beaten. I'm sorry, that is top tier character right there. Book that made you cry. I actually think I cried a little bit towards the end of Mistborn. I was getting very emotional at that book. Don't know if Housekeeper and the Professor made me cry. It probably did, because that is a very emotional book. Book that made you happy. Housekeeper and the Professor. Again, but like I said, I just had a huge smile on my face for a lot of that book. It really is something special. Ugh, I can't find the original list of questions for this tag, and it's annoying me. Okay, I'm sure somewhere there was, on one of these lists, there was a best sequel. I've not read many, so I think by default it goes to Miss Bond 2, which I'm happy with because I really enjoyed Miss Bond 2. I'd heard that the first one was everyone's favourite and then it goes down. I'd maybe still agree with that, but I really enjoyed a lot of stuff about the second one. The shift to this sort of like political story and managing this new world and showing that it's actually very hard. Yeah, so I really liked The Well of Ascension. Most beautiful book you've bought or received has to be Lady Joker. Let's get her out. I mean, I've shown this off before, but you know, any chance to show it off again. Also, I'm gonna show off the ones that have just arrived. Like, I love the use of photography in the Kami books. So, fun story, I looked for this on holiday in Canada and I found it, and then I realised, oh yeah, North American book cover is going to be different. And I thought, I don't want it to mismatch the other ones, and I actually really prefer the UK version of the covers with the photography. So I waited until I got home, and then it's just arrived today. So yeah, I love the use of photography on those. I also have another Japanese book that uses cool photography. I've not got it with me, so I might show it somewhere. And then Ruth Ozeki's book looks pretty cool. Oh, and I guess Empire of the Vampire would count as well. I mean, look at this thing, it's so beautiful. And it's one of the few hardbacks that I bought this year as well. Yeah, this thing is gorgeous. And bonus, there are illustrations in the book, which you don't always get, but always so happy to have. Okay, yeah, I think it's like a tie between this and Lady Joker. Definitely. What books do you need to read by the end of the year? I definitely want to read even more Sanderson so that I'm in a good place for the secret projects coming out next year. I think I could get through Miss Bond Era 2. Like I said, they're half the size of the other ones, so that should be fine. And I'd like to read a couple of the standalones. So Warbreaker and Elantris. I don't know if I'll read book 3 of Wheel of Time, so I will just say that my fantasy shelf, so I've got Shadow of the Gods is going to be one, Rage of Dragons, 5th season, that's something I really need to read. I think I might try and do a TBR video next, which will expand on that last question, so look forward to that. My throat is giving up now, so I will make a very quick goodbye. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!